My name's Brady Jolly. This is the Meet the Team podcast, and I'm with my friend Adam Bezold. Adam has been with us here for a few years and works in our sewer department. So it's yeah, man, just gonna get to know you today. So tell us a little bit about yourself, personal wise, where you're from, what do you do for fun, that sort of thing.
I grew up in Southern Campbell County. Uh, Went to Bishop Russell High School. Uh, Been here for almost 2 years, coming up on it in December. So that's pretty cool. Two brothers, parents, obviously. Yeah, I really just like to hang out with my friends, play cards. Played last night.
Oh, really? What do you play? Euchre?
We play like euchre, poker, pinochle, all that.
Pinochle,
Yeah,
nice.
I've been told it's
Dude,
an old person game,
I
but
haven't played Pinochle since
dude,
I was a kid.
it is tough. Like some of my friends, they'll like know like, oh, you threw a king of hearts 7 rounds ago. I'm like, how do you remember that? Like, but yeah, we just
Nice.
play
That's cool.
pickleball a lot. Just really anything sports.
Yep.
Big football guys.
Big in the gym shooting hoops a
Oh
lot. I
yeah,
see
I
that.
love basketball. It's fun. Not very good, but
Hey, you got a nice little jumper. I see it. Cool, man. Well, I want to kind of learn about why you got in the trades and what you liked about it, and like just the story of how you got into it.
so going through high school, I was like, man, this is really stupid. I hate school, and I was like, I'm definitely not going to college, because my dad, he works in the trades too. He's been there for pretty much his whole life
And
too.
what's he do?
He works at Bray Construction up
That's
there.
right.
We get topsoil from them sometimes, but I mean, a lot of my uncles, pretty much all of them have worked in the trades. So I was like, I mean,
Yeah.
why not? And I was like, I know I don't want to do electric. It's like I don't want to do HVAC because that just seems pretty complicated. But I'm sure it's really not. But I was like, I'll give plumbing a shot. And then I applied here once. I didn't end up getting a call back, so thanks for that. But I worked for another little company for a couple months. Didn't work out. Applied back here again. Ended up getting an interview. Started out in service and just they started putting me with excavation a lot because they were short a few helpers. And I was like, man, this is really cool. So I made the switch over to excavation, and I just haven't looked back.
Yep. So give me like the day to day. You're in the sewer department and the excavation team.
Yeah.
What do you guys do on a day to day basis?
Usually we're just going out to jobs, figuring out what's wrong with their sewer. Sometimes we do water lines too. Um, we'll just dig up where the problem spot is, assess like what all happens. Like if there's roots or a collapsed pipe, we'll repair it. Or if we're doing like a full replacement, we'll just we'll replace everything, get our inspection, and backfill and get out of there. It's pretty.
So, when you were like, I want to talk more about why you got in the trades.
Yeah.
You were thinking about you mentioned electric, HVAC.
Yeah.
Why was it plumbing? Why did that intrigue you?
So when I was in grade school, we did this like project in like a science class, and it was like wiring up it was like simple stuff, and I was like, man, I do not like this at all. Like it was just, it didn't like, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's like it didn't like connect to me as much, and I was just like, I'll give plumbing a shot. If it doesn't work out, so
Sure.
be it. I'll try something else, and it did. I feel like I got pretty lucky because like I feel like you see a lot of people is like they don't know what they want to do, and they go and try something, and they don't like it, and they try another thing, and it's just like a never-ending cycle. But I feel like I got pretty lucky with just picking something that I enjoyed doing.
Well, yeah, man, it's awesome.
Yeah.
How many people come out of college or high school and do something like the first
Yeah,
job they get is
yeah,
actually what they want to do. You're in a really good spot,
yeah,
young, no student debt coming out of high
exactly.
school. It's really cool spot. It's something that we talk about a lot. Like we want to be like preaching that from the mountaintops. Like this is an option. This
Yeah,
is something that you can do. And you probably have a lot of friends. What are you, 20 years old?
yeah, 19.
19. Yeah, a lot of friends that are
Yeah, they're all
still
in
in
college.
school and
Yeah,
not haven't quite got their career, and your career is a couple years in now,
yeah,
and you have bright future here. So
yeah,
I admire you for that, man. It's really cool. Tell us about like you watched your dad work in the trades, so
yeah.
you had a good idea. But what were your thoughts on what it would be like, and then if there was any, what were like misconceptions or things that were different from what you thought?
Yeah. So I mean, when I was growing up, I played a lot of sports and stuff. So I was like, oh, sometimes he wouldn't be able to make it to my games or something like because I played Saturday mornings and he would have to work, which I was fine with. It was whatever. But I was like, I kind of had that conception of like, man, you're going to be working every Saturday now. And, it doesn't really happen very often, thankfully. But, sometimes there are Saturdays where you got to come in and do stuff. But my, like, perception of it was just like, you're just going to be working your butt off, doing all this and, getting dirty, which, happens. But a lot of that really isn't what you, like, a lot of people I feel like think of plumbing as like, oh, it's a dirty job. You play with poop all day. And it's just like, a lot of times that's not the case. Like, when you do water lines, you don't even deal with it. Like, you don't, which, like, I don't mind it sometimes, but it can be very nasty sometimes.
Yeah. So, all right, tell me about some of the, like, nastiest jobs you've ever been on, anything that's ever happened crazy that's just disgusting.
I have a few. One was a couple months ago. We were up in Cincinnati, me and Dylan Biddle and Taylor, and we get to this house, and we're just doing a little jackhammer spot repair. And we walk down to this basement, and there's like 5 inches of standing water in there. It's like, how are we supposed to jackhammer in this? So we ended up, and it was like sewage water too. It was bad.
So the main line was still bad.
Oh, it was horrible. Yeah. So we ended up calling out a septic pump truck actually, and had them pump the basement out for us, because if we just did it with like 2-inch trash pumps, it would have taken forever. I mean, so they came out, they pumped it out. We started jackhammering. We find the pipe. And this thing is like, I'm talking it's probably from the house to the road is probably like 40 feet. And this entire thing was like almost all roots. So we ended up just pulling out up there. Then we got, we had it upsold to a spot repair outside by the road. Well, this guy's house is on a hill like this. So it's like, well, we can't get an excavator there. So we had to call out Badger, which is hydro excavation. They came out, got that taken care of, and the guy didn't want to go with anything further, so we just were like, yeah, we'll just get as many roots as we can out. So I'm sticking my like hand up into the sewer, just trying to rip these roots out. And as soon as I like ripped it out, all down my arm, it was, and that's not even the worst one.
Oh.
There's another one up in like Wyoming, Ohio, where I was with Randy, and I think it was the job we did the first liner on. Where like, I was watching Sean's video and you were listening.
The one where it exploded in the basement.
Yeah, I think it was that house. But this guy ended up having, roots in his line. So we shot another liner. That one went better. No better. Nothing wrong with that one. But we were having trouble like piping this in because we thought the PVC came out further than what it did, which it didn't. So we were like tunneling under like the ground trying to find this PVC. Well, they use gasket pipe, which you can glue if you take the gasket out. Well, I didn't know that at the time because I was still newer. And Randy's like, just rip out the gasket and glue it in there. And I was like, I'm gluing it in. It's not going in. He's like, did you take the gasket out? I was like, no. So Randy gets down there, which is one of the few times I've seen him down in a ditch. But I'm like laying down, like reaching in there, and it's just sewage, this entire ditch. And it's like 6 o'clock on a Friday. I'm like, I really just want to get out of here. I don't really care. So I'm like laying down, like trying to like grab up in there and like try and rip this gasket. I finally get it out and glue it in. And then he's like, it took you long enough, you dumbass. And I was like, I'm sorry, Randy. I don't know what I'm doing here, but it was bad. I smelled horrible
for probably the whole weekend.
The ride home, it was bad. Randy's like, I can't believe you did that. This is stupid. I was like, Randy, I'm not very happy about it either. I was just laying in sewage for 25 minutes. I don't want to hear it. I'm soaked from head to toe. He made me wear like a garbage bag home, like just put it over. And then I ended up doing that in my car too.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
So what is it that you like about working at Jolly?
I would say, and I know everyone says this, but it really is true, the people. I've never seen a company that has as many, like, I feel like everyone that I talk to is just like, they're cool. Like, they're just, no one has stupid beef or anything like that. Everyone gets along. It's just like a big family. Like, all the guys down in excavation, they're all super cool. I get along with all of them, so.
I love how you guys have a tight-knit group.
Yeah.
There's
for
good
sure.
culture in that
Yeah.
department. All right, what about you're big on the company parties, man? We've
Oh, yeah.
had it's always fun. You know,
Yeah.
you always bring the energy. What are your favorite company events?
Christmas party's up there. That's fun. But the golf outing I think is fun because I like golf a lot. But
It's coming up.
yeah.
All right, so in the golf outing, everybody had to submit their name and they had to submit their skill 1 through 5. What did you put?
So when I first signed up, I feel like a 3 or 4,
Nice, all right.
which like I feel like I'm all right, but I'm not like horrible. Well, I literally like that weekend after I submitted it, I went out and played, and I think I shot like a 110, which is like
Did you resubmit as a 1?
I was like, Molly, I need to resubmit. Like I was like, I can't be a 3. I put myself down to a 2. It was a hickory, and like really long par 5 where
Yeah.
the water. I hit it in the water 3 times
Oh, no.
off the tee box. It was bad.
That's golf,
I
man.
was just like, yeah, I can't be a 3. There's no way. I don't deserve it.
Yeah, I'm pumped. That's going to be fun. It's
Yeah,
coming up in a few weeks.
Can't wait.
Cool. All right, so any other stories, anything crazy? What's like the craziest thing that's ever happened to you out there in the field?
Craziest thing. I'm trying to think.
Any customer, any kind of like crazy customer stories?
There was one time me, Ben, Eric, and Dylan the Risha, we were on a job up there off of Buttermilk Pike, and we were kind of like at the end of a street, and there was like this weird like it V'd off to go either way. Well, we were sitting there, and this car comes it's in like the middle of a neighborhood. This car comes like flying past us, tries to do like a drift around this like thing.
Like Tokyo Drift style?
Yeah, yeah. It was the wildest thing. He drifts around this like V, and he hits a stop sign and like knocks it to the ground, and then literally like does like a full burnout, dipping out of there. I was like, what? What just happened? Because we all saw the car drive past, and I was kind of like watching like down in the ditch, and I like looked over to my left, and I was like, what's that car doing? And he starts drifting. I was like, oh god, he's going for it, and he just nails this stop sign, and just it was the wildest thing. I was like, I've never seen anything like that in my life. It was crazy.
Never know what you're gonna see.
Yeah,
out there,
exactly.
Man.
It was wild. It
All
wasn't
right.
even like a cool car either. It was just like a Honda Civic or something like that. Which I was like, what are you drifting in a Honda Civic for? Like, what are you doing, man?
Nice. What about any like you guys don't do a ton in crawl spaces? I'm sure you've been in some crawl spaces
yeah.
here, haven't you?
Yeah.
When you're in a crawl space, what's like the last thing you want to see? Are you like spiders, snakes? What?
I'm fine with spiders because I'll just kill them. Snakes, I mean, I'm not fond of them, but I don't. I'll pick it up and throw it or something.
You ever ran into anything crazy in a crawl space?
Nothing like animal related, but I was helping Aaron on a job, and it was in this lady's crawl space, and like I'm a bigger guy, so like I don't really get in the crawl spaces that much, but we were in this lady's crawl space, and he's cutting out this 2-inch drain line for her sink. There's grease backed up in it, and we're cutting it out, and there's like the whole thing's full of grease. There's like it's a 2-inch line. There's maybe like an inch of like we walk back in, and she's like, I don't really put much grease down. I don't ever put grease down my drain. I was like, well, someone is, because this thing is like, we ended up replacing, it was like a 10-foot repair, and we ended up replacing like almost 40 feet because of how much like grease was caked up in there. I was like, hate to tell you, someone's dumping grease down your drain, we're doing this, cutting out grease while you barely have enough room to like turn over from your stomach to your back. And I cut one of the lines, and the pipe fell down, and grease just came out, and like it barely missed my face. But I was like,
dude, I don't know about you, but grease to me is worse than
sewage. It's way worse. It smells way worse. You wouldn't think it, but it is like, I've gagged a few times with sewage, but there's been one time where I like started throwing up because of the smell of grease. It was disgusting. It's horrible.
Grease and urinals.
Yeah, urinals for some reason smell the absolute worst. And those urinal cakes do not work.
No.
They gotta come up with something else, because those things.
I know. All right. Well, we recently redid our mission, vision, and values. Is there anything that sticks out to you about Jolly in general, or about like your job that you see on a daily basis about the mission, vision, and values?
I would say like probably just like the be the name or winner's word, because like I think we're kind of like that unique position where like your last name is like has another meaning, like Jolly is happy, and I feel like that fits our company really well, because like everyone's always happy, everyone's always like here to work, but they're also here to have a good time. Like,
yep. It's cool, man. Yeah, and I was gonna say, I think that that's the one that you embody, is be the name. You're always happy-go-lucky down there, having fun. cutting it up with the guys, always hanging around, after work. And, it's really cool to see company events. You bring the energy at those, and big culture guy, man. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
You're 19, which is crazy.
Yeah.
You have a long road ahead of you in the trades, man.
I still think about that sometimes.
Awesome.
I got 6 hours and 70 years left on the job. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What are some things that you want to see in the trades, or want to see, with your career? Is there anything that comes to mind there?
I think, and kind of speaking for myself here too, but I feel like, and Jolly, I feel like is a really prime example, but the amount of young guys that can come into a trade and just make a killing. Like, I mean, we have a lot of younger guys, I feel like, but there's some companies out there that's like my uncle, he was talking to me a couple weeks ago. He's like, yeah, there's like maybe 2 guys below the age of 30. And I was like, dude, like, I feel like my biggest advice for like kids coming out of high school is like, just give something a try if you don't know what you want to do. Cause like, you might like it. Worst case scenario, you don't, go do something else. But if the younger the guys are, the more, because like you join that company that my uncle works for, you're that guy for the next 20 years or whatever,
right.
you know.
Yeah, I know people always talk about, I've heard the stats of like for every 4 people that are retiring from the trade, one new person's coming in. Luckily, we don't really have that problem. We have a really young group, which has its benefits. It also has its challenges, right?
Yeah.
But I think the cool thing for you is it's like, even though you're young, you have an opportunity to move up in the company quickly, right?
Yeah.
And you can still lean on a lot of the older guys that are here. We got Wayne Crowder here, who's been here for 45 years, and a lot of guys that can teach you the trade.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, I'm just looking forward to working with you for a long time, man.
Yep.
You crush it for us. To me, it's the winner's work and the be the name. Those are the 2 things that you embody every day. So I appreciate you being on the podcast. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about, or any stories or anything you wanted to tell?
Yeah, there was one time I was me, Ben, and Dylan were on a job, full replacement, and they sent me to go get pipe from Win Nelson, which is just the supply house right across the road. And I was there by myself. I walk in, I was like, yeah, I just need so and so, blah blah blah. Like, all right, you can go get your pipe. And I was like, all right, cool. So I walked down to where their pipe racks are, and I grabbed I started grabbing pipe, which is like, their pipe racks. You got like the first level, second level, and the third level. I was reaching off the third level, and I was grabbing like 4 or 5 sticks of pipe.
Was this like 4-inch PVC?
Yeah, 4-inch Schedule 40 PVC, which is it's a heavier duty pipe. And I like reach up, grab down a few sticks, no problem. Which I'm like jumping to pull them down to where like those pipe rack stops are, pulling them down, and then I can like reach it to grab it off myself, like without jumping. Well, I jump, pull one down, and I guess they have like a different type of pipe that's like stood up at the end of it, like stop it from rolling.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they were missing one, because one of the pipe just came down, fell down, like hit the ground first, and then right into my lip. And then I ended up having to get like, I think like 6 stitches or something. But I was just
brutal.
It happened. I was in shock. And I was just like, okay. So I started grabbing all the other pipe. I walked back into the shop, and I was like, you think I just need stitches? And everyone's like, oh my God, what happened? It's like, what? Like, what's wrong? They're like, have you seen your face? I was like, I mean, yeah, I know there's a cut there, but I was like, I don't think it's that bad. And they're like, Adam, you need to go to the hospital like right now. And I was like, I'm still in like shock. I'm just like, I mean, I don't think it's really that bad. And it's just like just gash, like just split open completely.
So did you end up needing stitches?
Yeah, I did. Because I called my mom. I sent her the picture of it. I was like, you think this needs stitches? And she's like, yes, absolutely. You're going to the hospital. I was like, I don't really want to though. Like, I don't want to go. She's like, too bad. You're going. Deal with it. And I guess even the nurse was like, yeah, you're going to be happy with this, because now you're not going to have a massive scar. Now you can't even like really tell.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't even see it.
You can kind of see it. Like,
is it up top?
It's like it's like from here down.
I can't even see it.
Yeah, it's but yeah, I thought it was like, I called Ben, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to come back with this pipe. And he's like, what? I was like, what, why? I was like, yeah, I got to go get stitches apparently. And he's like, what happened? I was like, yeah, the pipe fell down, just hit me right in the face.
Dude, stuff like that comes at you quick out here, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. You just got to be careful with stuff, which, I mean, I was being kind of stupid, but.
Next time maybe.
I probably should just feel like, yeah, can you guys get the forklift down here? I need some sticks of pipe, but,
right.
I wasn't really thinking that. I was just like.
Yeah, I get it. Cool. All right. Well, thanks, man.
Yep.